Good morning, Zambia. Welcome to your favorite breakfast show where we inform, inspire, and ignite your day. Indeed, it's the 5th of May 2026. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning, and we're so glad that you are able to join us, dear viewer. So if you're just tuned in, you're watching us live on your Top Star decoder on channel 121. You're also watching us live on Facebook and YouTube. Indeed, it is a beautiful day, dear viewer. It is a day for you to be inspired, for you to be ignited, to be informed, so that you can have a lovely and productive day. Indeed, on this show, we aspire to help you make your day better. Indeed, we go through a lot in life. We go through so many things. Even on a day like this, of course, there are so many worries. Some of us are thinking about kids, thinking about different things, thinking about work. Of course, we need to be at the office. I need to be at the office at this time. I need to rush. I need to dash for work. But then you can also still find something exciting. You can throw a little bit of fun and entertainment even in your day, so that you are not always exhausted by work. Work can actually be fun. Work can actually be enjoyable. Just sometimes find time, take some breaks so that you can also at least recharge. I don't know where you're watching us from. Maybe you're already watching us from your workplace. You're probably watching us from your home. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you're watching us from, as long as you have breath in you, as long as you are alive, as long as you have some energy in your body. Indeed, it is a beautiful day. You're with your co-host, Joel Chisompola, and it's a beautiful good morning. It's a beautiful day indeed. This is a day full of opportunity and a day to make something light of, a day for you to enjoy. It shouldn't be always just about stress, about work, about this, about that. You can also celebrate family. You can celebrate your friendships. You can celebrate everything that's there around you and appreciate. If you have a spouse, if you have children, thank God for those wonderful blessings. If you have a healthy body, if you came from a morning jog, thank God indeed that you have those wonderful blessings. So we have a very interesting topic today. We're talking about something that affects all of us, whether you're employed, running a business, or still in school. We're talking about something very important. Maybe it's something you've heard before. Maybe it's something you've heard and think, oh, I've heard that before, or maybe you've never really paid attention to it. But today's topic is workplace ethics and integrity, doing the right thing even when no one is watching. Does that say something about you? Do you do the right thing when people are not watching, or do you do the right thing when everyone else is watching and uploading? So let's start with this. Have you ever been in a situation at work to choose between doing what is right or what is easy? I'm sure maybe you could have been. That's the question right now. See, many people face that daily. We all face that daily. That's just a fact. We all face that daily, where we have to make a choice between doing something that's right and something that's easy, because by nature, we always want to the easy way out. We always want to do something that's lighter, something that maybe won't inconvenience us. That's why we always take the easier route, and many times we fall into a lot of temptations. That's just a fact today. So many of us face that daily, and many times we like to cover up mistakes rather than being honest about it, because there's just this thing in us to want to look good, to want to be admired, to want to be celebrated, and to want people to just say, oh, that's the one, he's the one, she's the one. Now, ethics is about making the right choice, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it feels like you may lose your reputation. Sometimes maybe you may even lose your job. But ethics is about doing the right thing. It's about doing what is in the best interest even of others. They may not see it, but if you're ethical, you are doing the right thing. And integrity is what you do consistently. It's your character in action, what you do every day, what you do even when no one is watching. It's about being constant with your life, being constant whether someone is watching or not. That's basically what integrity is all about. So we are looking at workplace ethics and integrity. An amazing topic. So please send us your thoughts, send us your comments on Facebook, on YouTube, on what you think about today's topic, workplace ethics and integrity, which are needed, which we just really need to be ethical. We need to be people of integrity, and we need to be people who carry ourselves consistently even when no one else is watching. So if you'd like to call in, the lines are showing on the screen. If you'd like to comment, even send in an SMS, the lines are showing right now on your screen. Please feel free to comment. Please feel free to chat with us and tell us your experience. Tell us what you think about today's topic. Tell us about your experience so far, how you've woken up, or what you're feeling about today, and how excited you are about today, and what you'd like to do today. And of course, talking about today's topic, workplace ethics and integrity. Right now, we take a short break. See you on the other side.
Hi, welcome to Kisha Classical Tour, where style meets affordability. We have great quality clothes, slippers, speak of anything you'd like to wear, we have it here. We are located in Avondale Small Market near the complex. You can reach us on 09735000044 on WhatsApp. Then for Instagram or Facebook, you can search for Kisha Classical Tour. We have nice clothes that you will love at affordable price. Then for delivery, we do deliver within Lusaka and outside Lusaka. Outside Lusaka, we use couriers such as Platinum. So please come through. We deliver countrywide. Then within Lusaka, we use bikes to deliver. So we are able to reach you anywhere, wherever you are. We are able to reach you.
Welcome back to the Light TV Breakfast Show with your co-host George Sompola. Just tuned in, dear viewer. You're watching us live on channel 121 on your top star decoder. You're watching us countrywide. You're also watching us live on Facebook and YouTube. If you're just tuned in, dear viewer, we are having an exciting topic today. We are looking at workplace ethics and integrity. We are looking at something that's really close to our hearts today, even here in Zambia, even here in the Zambian working place, in the Zambian workplace, in the Zambian workspace. This is what we are looking at today. And indeed, if you're just tuned in, please stay tuned, and we are having a blast even as we are looking at this wonderful topic, a topic which is actually challenging to all of us, a topic which actually speaks to the core of each and every one of us. Do we have ethics? Do we have moral guidelines of what is right and what is wrong? Are we consistent? Are we constant even when people are not watching us? Are we steadfast? Are we always doing the right thing even when no one is watching us? So that's what we are looking at today, dear viewer. If you're just tuned in, indeed it is a beautiful Tuesday morning, and you're more than welcome, dear viewer, to participate. You're more than welcome to comment even on today's amazing topic that we have today. So you may be wondering, you may ask, so what exactly are workplace ethics? What are they? I've been working, and maybe you're just new to on the job, and you're trying to figure out what this is. And of course, maybe you've heard it time and time again. Oh, I know about it. I know what it is. Oh, workplace ethics. Come on, I've been there in the workplace for over 20 years. Workplace ethics, I know what that is. Oh, well, in a nutshell, workplace ethics are the moral principles that guide how we behave at work. Things like honesty, respect, accountability, and professionalism. So basically, that's what ethics are. Some say it's just the moral principles of what is right and wrong. In fact, that's the basic definition of ethics. Moral guiding principles or moral guidelines of what is right or wrong. And of course, even at the workplace, in their morals, there are principles that guide how we behave at work. Of course, as mentioned earlier on, there are things like honesty, respect, accountability, and professionalism. And that's what indeed we need to look at and ask ourselves. Are we professional? Are we respectful to other workmates? Are we respectful to our colleagues? Are we accountable even when we do something wrong? Are we professional in our line of work? It doesn't matter what line of work you are, whether it's in the media, or whether it's in government, whether it's a private organization. These are vital questions. And what are workplace ethics? What exactly are workplace ethics, even as we dig further into exactly what they are? What exactly, yes, we seem to be saying the right things, but what exactly, what are we referring to when we are looking at workplace ethics? Well, workplace ethics also refers to the moral principles and professional standards of behavior that guide how people act in a work environment. It is about what is right and wrong in the workplace and how employees, managers, and organizations are expected to behave toward each other, clients, and the public. And we also have a simple explanation. Like workplace ethics also means doing the right thing at work, basically. You're basically doing the right thing at work, even when no one is watching. And let that sink in for a bit, even when no one is watching. Because that's our tendency. We want people to admire us. We want people to praise us. Even as an individual, many times I would also want people to say, he's the man, he's doing it. And of course, I would want to be praised. And I'll have to ask myself as an individual. I also have to ask myself as an individual, am I doing the right thing even when no one is watching? So basically, workplace ethics also means doing the right thing at work even when no one is watching. So what are some examples of workplace ethics? What are some cardinal examples of workplace ethics? Well, being honest and not lying or cheating, showing respect to colleagues and clients, being punctual and responsible, avoiding corruption or misuse of resources, keeping confidential information, keeping it private, treating everyone fairly and without discrimination. So basically, these are some things we need to think about if we are doing these things correctly or not. Now, what are the types of workplace ethics? Types of workplace ethics, or what are they? Of course, in media and journalism, we speak about truthfulness and accuracy. Journalists must report facts correctly without altering or exaggerating information. Always verify information before broadcasting or publishing. Avoid rumors and unconfirmed stories. Very important for those working in the media. Very important. Avoid sensationalism and wanting to get the first story all the time. Yes, we would like to get the first stories and be there and be the best media house, but then we need to take into consideration our publishing verified rumors and confirmed stories, because that in the long run ends up damaging your reputation. So always verify information, even as a media house. Another example, we can look at an example, yet it's still in the media. A reporter double checks election results with official sources being airing before a breaking news story. Number 2, fairness and impartiality. Media professionals should present all sides of a story without bias. Give balanced coverage, avoid favoring political parties, individuals, or organizations. Indeed, this is very important, this is vital. For example, interviewing both government officials and opposition voices on a policy issue. You make sure you get both sides of the story. You don't favor the other party, whether it's the ruling party or the opposition party. You get both sides straight. You get what they're saying correctly and not deliberately misinterpret what another part is saying, what the other party is saying. No, you don't deliberately misinterpret what they're saying. And thirdly, integrity. Being honest and maintaining strong moral principles in reporting. No fabrication of stories, no paying or being paid to influence coverage. For example, refusing to accept money to promote a false story about a politician. Of course, that's a big temptation. You need the money, you want the money, maybe you want to pay those bills, you want to maybe to progress in your career, but no. You refuse to accept money to promote a false story about a politician. Why? Because you have morals, because you have ethics, because you are a person of integrity. And with fourthly, accountability. Taking responsibility for mistakes and correcting them publicly. Yes, it looks humiliating, it looks shameful, but we are all human and we make mistakes, but we need to take that step, we need to take that route of correcting mistakes publicly, especially when it comes out and it's clear that there was a mistake. You come out and humbly apologize in public. Issue corrections when errors are made. Be transparent with the audience and be truthful with the audience. Yet another example. A newsroom issues a correction after reporting a wrong figure in a news bulletin, and the facts are gotten straight concerning the story that was published. Number 5, confidentiality, very important. Protecting sensitive sources and information when required. This is cardinal. We don't just keep on going, you don't just go just for the sake of sensationalism and just publish a story and it ends up damaging people's lives and careers and even your own credibility, especially when you are supposed to hold something confidential. For instance, keeping whistleblowers' identities safe and respecting private data. An example is a journalist protecting a source who may be exposed corruption in a government office. Number 6, respect for privacy. Avoid unnecessary intrusion into people's private lives. Report only what is relevant to public interest. Avoid sensationalism, as we've been saying time and time again. Please, let's avoid this. For example, not publishing private family details of a crime victim unless it is necessary for public awareness. Number 7, professional conduct. Maintaining discipline and respect in the workplace. Meeting deadlines, respecting colleagues and editors, dressing and behaving appropriately on and off camera. Example, a presenter arrives early, prepared, and respects production instructions during a live broadcast. Now, in summary, media workplace ethics ensure that journalism remains truthful, fair, responsible, and trustworthy, helping the public receive reliable information. Indeed, we've been looking at an example even in the media on how workplace ethics and integrity must come into play. So dear viewers at home, what does ethics mean to you? Please send us your thoughts. Please tell us what you feel. Comment, call in and tell us what you feel about workplace ethics and what you feel about even ethics in general, what you would do in a tight situation. Would you do the right thing? Would you make a decision which is easier for you? Would you look for the easy way out? Tell us how you would feel. Tell us, maybe describe situations you've been in where you've had to have ethics, where you've had to do the right thing, even when you could have made enemies, even if you would have had people dislike you. Tell us how you feel about this vital topic in our Zambian society today. We also look at the biblical perspective on workplace ethics in media and journalism. From a biblical point of view, workplace ethics in media is grounded in truth, integrity, justice, and accountability before God and people. Very important. You're doing it before God and people. God, who is our creator and maker and knows what we do even in secret. We can't hide anything from God. We can hide things from people. We can hide from our employees and our employees, bosses, our colleagues. We can hide a lot of things, but we can never hide things from our maker and creator, because he knows what we think. He knows what we imagine. He knows our next move, because he is God and knows everything. So accountability before God is vital, and also before other people. So from a biblical perspective, workplace ethics are grounded in truth, integrity, diligence, fairness, and accountability before God. The Bible teaches that people should be honest in all their dealings and avoid falsehood, speaking truthfully in every situation in accordance with Ephesians 4:25. It also emphasizes integrity, doing what is right even when no one is watching. You can take note of Proverbs 11 verse 3, and working diligently with excellence as unto God, not just for human approval. Colossians 3:23. Fairness and justice are also central with believers, called to treat others without favoritism or corruption, in accordance with Deuteronomy 16 verse 19. The Bible further reminds us that we are accountable for our action. In summary, workplace ethics in a biblical sense means working with honesty, excellence, respect, and a sense of responsibility before both God and people. So indeed, ethics and integrity from the biblical standpoint, from the biblical view of things, you're doing things right, you're doing things correctly before God and people. You're not just trying to impress people. You're not just trying to mesmerize people to show that you're the one, you're the best, or to show I'm on top, or I can do this very well, I can cast very well. No, I'm the best CEO. I bring the best stories. But are you walking in integrity? Are you a person of integrity before God and before people? Let's avoid false integrity where we look like people of integrity before other people. But in God's eyes, we are just pretenders. In God's eyes, we are just being hypocrites. So it is very important to have integrity, to be ethical before God and before people. Let's do the right thing. Let's always make sure that we are doing it, working hard, being diligent, even when no one is watching us, even when people don't know that we are doing the right thing. Let's do it anyway. Let's do it with all our hearts and work with integrity and with excellence. We take another break. Please join me on the other side.
Christ Life is more than a school. It's a nurturing community. Our qualified teachers use innovative methods that keep the minds and hearts of our students engaged. Our cafeteria isn't just a place to eat. It's a hub of nourishment and community. Our sports activities are always filled with fun and creativity that promote teamwork and confidence in every child. With access to the latest educational software, learners are prepared for the digital age with confidence and creativity, empowering students with skills in and out of the classroom. Swimming is a life skill that is cardinal for survival. Our ballet programs teaches more than just dance. It installs grace, discipline, and expression. The heart of knowledge builds in our school library with a wide collection of fiction, non-fiction, reference material, and digital resources. Our school offers exciting and safe playground facilities for both ECE and primary students. Safety is our top priority, and our drivers are carefully selected for their professionalism and commitment to the well-being of our students. At Christ Life School, we believe education is not just about passing exams, it's about preparation. So, if you are looking for a school that feels like home, where your child will be known, loved, and challenged to reach their highest potential, then Christ Life School is the place.
Welcome back to the Light TV Breakfast Show, dear Zambia. Welcome to this beautiful show where we inform, inspire, and entertain you. I'm your host, George Sompola, and indeed, it is a beautiful Tuesday morning. If you're just tuned in, you're watching us live on channel 121 on your top star decoder. You're also watching us live on Facebook and YouTube. And indeed, we are looking at an interesting topic, workplace ethics and integrity. But even as we continue with our topic, we go straight into our next section, which is news buzzing and what is going on in the news. What's going on around Zambia? What's going on possibly even around the world? Just continue with us even as we look at the latest headlines. Now, President Hakainde Hichilema has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to defending, upholding, and promoting vibrant and independent media. President Hichilema has stressed the importance of a free and independent media in shaping a future of peace. He says the government is strongly committed to upholding media freedoms and ensuring the safety of journalists. This was contained in a speech read on his behalf by Media and Information Minister Cornelius Mutwa during the UNESCO World Press Freedom Day Global Conference in Lusaka. President Hichilema noted significant progress in the full restoration of the rule of law and the end of political violence. He said no media house in Zambia has been intimidated or closed since 2021. President Hichilema further noted the growth of the media fraternity from 147 media houses in 2021 to 259 media houses in 2025. And UNESCO Assistant Director General Communication and Information, Maria Gabriel, said that progress has been made in access to information with 139 UN member states adopting legal guarantees for public rights and to access information. Meanwhile, Permanent Delegate of Japan to UNESCO and Chair of International Program for the Development of Communication, Takehiro Kano, stressed the importance of press freedom and independent media. Despite increasing challenges of information, AI-generated misinformation, and violence against journalists. And indeed, that was very, very important, even as we looked at press freedom yesterday. Yesterday was World Press Freedom Day, and indeed, it's vital that we have a free press here in Zambia and in any nation in the world. It's vital that we get to express our views. Yes, even as we express our views, remember we are looking at workplace ethics and integrity. Let's remember to do it responsibly. Let's remember to do it with integrity, with honesty, with truthfulness, and with consideration of others. We also need to respect other people's rights. So indeed, it's vital, like what the head of state was saying, is vital that, of course, there must be media freedom in Zambia. We are a democratic we are a democratic nation after all. So, of course, media freedom is vital. We need to take into consideration. People need to know what's going on. People need to, the governments need to take into consideration that people's rights must be respected, that people's views must be heard, and that people indeed need to know what's going on with the government, what's going on with leadership, what's going on, how is the country being run. How are decisions being made? Are decisions being made in the interests of the people or in the interests of those in power? All those are discussed even in a democratic nation like Zambia, even in media institutions. All that is discussed, all that is tabled, and indeed the head of state has rightly weighed in on the issue of media freedoms and how even here in Zambia we have more media houses, people bringing in stories, people expressing their views, people are able to phone in even on a show like this one or on any other show, and people are able to express their views. They're able to talk and say, we need things run like this, these are our needs, our voices need to be heard, our community is going through so and so, and we need these things to be done in this community. So indeed, media freedom is vital, and as a nation, indeed, we celebrated World Press Freedom Day along with other nations, just highlighting the plight of freedom of the spread of information, the right of freedom of expression. Rather, indeed, as a nation, we are moving forward, and indeed, we are going forward in terms of media and in terms of freedom of speech. And we move on to another interesting story, even concerning the 8.7 million voters, about concerning the general election. Of course, more needs to be done, but indeed we are getting there even as a nation. Now, the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, has officially certified 8,768,300 voters for the upcoming 2026 general elections. This follows a nationwide inspection of the provisional register of voters, which initially, of course, recorded 8,888,912 registrants. ECZ Chief Electoral Officer Brown Casaro stated that the verification exercise was conducted both online and physically at polling stations from February 22 to March 8, 2026. He explained that the final figure reflects a cleaner process in which 101,439 duplicate entries and 1,173 records of deceased individuals were removed from the register. According to Mr. Casaro, the certified voter roll shows that 4,660,000 are male. The register also includes 20,162 persons living with disabilities, highlighting efforts toward inclusivity. He further emphasized the updated register aligns with the 226 constituencies created following the 2026 delimitation exercise. This register will serve as the official voters' roll for the elections and replaces all previous versions until a new update is conducted and certified. Indeed, that's a wonderful story coming from the Electoral Commission of Zambia, talking about voters. And indeed, we've seen that a lot of our women folk indeed are rising to the challenge, and indeed a lot registered. And of course, yes, men did register, but of course, we had a higher turnout of females because generally, of course, females are more in terms of population. And that's the norm in any country in the world. And of course, more needs to be done. More people people need to be encouraged to vote, to say that indeed, as you vote, this is your right. You're making decisions. You're the one who actually puts governments in power. You as a citizen have that right. Zambia is a democratic nation. So as a citizen, you have every right to vote. You have every right to make that decision to see whom you want to be in power. So in other words, as citizens, we run the nation. As citizens, we put who we want to lead us, and we actually run the nation because it is us who make that decision. So let's just continue as a nation to just take this right as a privilege to say we are in a democratic nation and we can vote for whom we want to lead us as a nation. And indeed, there are some improvements being made even with the regards to the voting process. Now, an interesting story, another yet interesting story concerning Gonzalez remarks after the government condemns Gonzalez remarks and calls them undiplomatic. The government has expressed deep concern over remarks made by outgoing United States Ambassador to Zambia, Michael Gonzalez, describing them as undiplomatic and inconsistent with established practice. Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation Minister Mulambo Haimbe says the remarks made during a farewell reception in Lusaka violate the spirit of mutual respect between sovereign states, which are contrary to the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations of 1961. Speaking during a press briefing, Mr. Haimbe said the outgoing ambassador's conduct contravenes key provisions of the convention, including Articles 3 and 41, which guide the role of diplomats and prohibit interference in the internal affairs of a host country. He said the issues raised by the ambassador were not formally communicated through official diplomatic channels, such as the march, and raising concern over regard for established diplomatic procedures. Mr. Haimbe has clarified that Zambia's relationship with the United States is not centered on aid, but rooted in shared values, mutual respect, and long-standing cooperation dating back to the establishment of diplomatic ties in 1964. Addressing the proposed Health Memorandum of Understanding, Mr. Haimbe said negotiations have not stalled due to inaction, but because Zambia has objected to certain provisions, particularly those relating to data sharing that could violate citizens' rights of privacy. The minister said the matter is currently before the courts and must be respected. Indeed, what an interesting story, and quite a mess over there, like where the outgoing ambassador now says, makes certain remarks, of course, which unfortunately have rubbed a lot of us the wrong way, to say, yeah, an outgoing ambassador, but then you're making these remarks as if you are in charge, as if you are telling people what they should do. Of course, the right channel should have been followed, and of course, it could have been handled in a better way, and things should have been done privately. If there were concerns that needed to be raised, it should have been done privately, and not just going out there and just issuing what you feel. Yes, you may represent the interests of the United States of America, which you should, but things can be done with wisdom, and things can be done privately, and not just coming to a place where now it's out there and people now begin to debate what's happening. Of course, in terms of the deals of aid and the like, things should be done respectfully. As a nation, as Zambians, we need to be respected, whether it's the United States, whether we are dealing with the United States. As a nation, we also need to be respected. And with regards to aid, we are not an aid-based nation. We are a nation that is now demanding for trade. Aid is of the past, and now we need trade. We need to trade honestly with other nations. So, of course, that's a concerning story, and of course, things needed to have been done diplomatically. Things needed to have done with respect, and it was pointed out that the Vienna Convention does not allow for such. So this thing could have been handled privately, and this thing could have been handled with more maturity and respect. Like we are saying, we can air out our views, we can do so, we can speak out, but then we need to be respectful of other people's rights. We need to be respectful and stick within the framework of respecting other people's rights. So we continue with our beautiful topic today, and now we are moving on to signs of good and bad ethics in the workplace. So what are some examples of good ethics in the workplace? Being punctual, respecting colleagues, taking responsibility, and just doing the right thing all the time, and being there, making sure that your colleague feels better, making sure that your colleague's rights are respected, and of course being punctual. And I'm sure we've all heard of Zambian time. Oh, it's Zambian time. A meeting is supposed to start at 8 on the dot, or even at 7 on the dot, but then you arrive 30 minutes later, which again does not show respect. You are not respecting time, you are not respecting the guidelines of your company. So being punctual shows good ethics, and of course respecting colleagues, not calling them calling them names, or passing rude or crude jokes about them, making all kinds of comments which are insensitive. No, we respect our colleagues. We report for work. We report. We learn to be punctual. Even in whatever we do, even at church, we learn to be punctual. Yes, I'm bringing up church as a people. Why are you talking about church? But it's important and it's vital everywhere. Remember we talked about God, doing things before God and man. So of course, being punctual should be everywhere. Yes, at the workplace, at church, and wherever we go. It just shows respect. Now, what are examples of poor workplace ethics? Gossiping, casual talk about the affairs of other people, where you just want to be talking about other people, spreading rumors about them. And gossip, of course, damages a lot of relationships. It causes a lot of distraction, and people lose relationships. People end up even destroying others' reputations. People sometimes even get fired over a false rumor, and when it's discovered, the damage has already been done. So gossiping is a terrible work ethic, and please, we must avoid gossiping at all costs. If you have something to say to someone, tell it to their face. Sit down with them in private and discuss, rather than spreading rumors about them. Another example is stealing time or resources, where we just arrive at whatever time we want, where we just come. Oh, it's supposed to be at the workplace at 7:40 at 8 hours, but then I come at 8:40 or 8:50. That's already stealing time. And stealing resources, it could be a pen, it could be a pencil, it could be a marker. If you need something, you can just ask for it. You don't take it home as personal to order and start using it at home when it's meant for the workplace. So stealing time and resources, please, that's not good ethics. That's not right. It doesn't show respect for your organization. It doesn't show respect for your company, and it doesn't show respect for your colleagues who also need to use the same resources. And also dishonesty. People who are dishonest cause a lot of damage. It may look okay to be dishonest. Maybe you give false reports or false figures, and it looks okay. The company may look like it's doing well, but then when it's discovered, your own reputation gets damaged, and the company's reputation also gets damaged. So let's be honest at all times. And if, as we are looking at this important topic, where do you see yourself? I also have to ask myself a very personal question. Where do I see myself? Am I punctual? Am I always on time? Am I respectful to my colleagues? Do I take responsibility all the time? Am I a gossip? Do I steal time or resources? Am I dishonest? All of us need to start asking all those questions. Do you gossip? Do you steal time? Do you steal resources? Are you dishonest to your employers? Are you dishonest to your colleagues? Are you punctual? Do you respect your colleagues? Do you take responsibility even when you are wrong? So which one of these do you see in your workplace? Are you doing the right thing? Is it good or bad? Do you practice good or bad ethics? Do you do what is right all the time? Is it okay to bend the rules if it benefits the company? That's another important question. No, you may think, oh, it's benefiting the company, but are you now, if you're bending the rules, is it right? That's a very important question. Is it right to bend the rules because you think, oh, we are doing things wrongly, but it's benefiting the company? The company is making more profits, and we are on an upward trajectory, and we are doing things. People are even able to see, our clients are seeing that indeed we are making more money, and indeed we have a lot of cash, and we'll have more clients, more people will come. But then you're cutting corners, but then you're making shortcuts, and then you're doing a lot of things unethically. And which are you just doing it so that you can be praised, and you may be actually masterminding it, maybe as an individual, a group of people. It's looking okay because the company seems to be doing well, but in the long run, short-term gains can lead to long-term damage. And a lot of companies have collapsed because they were bending the rules. They thought, oh, we are making profit, but then they avoided corporate responsibility, they avoided community responsibility, they avoided responsibility to their clients, and in the long term, there was damage. In the long term, the company was discovered for corruption, and the company collapsed. And it destroyed a lot of things. They lost public trust, and they lost a lot of respect, even from the general public. So integrity builds trust, and trust builds success. So please, integrity is something we need to take seriously. We take another break. Join me on the other side.
Greetings, everyone. We are here again at Ilinda Ilepia. So today we have an opportunity to visit a store at downtown. It's called AWS Fashion Stores, and this is where we are right now. So this is AWS Fashion Stores, where they sell different kinds of clothing, men's clothing and women's clothing. There are jeans, t-shirts. We have these t-shirts. We also have Timberland t-shirts. These are very good t-shirts. We have all sorts of stuff. We have t-shirts on this side which are going at 75 kwacha only, and if you're getting 10, you get them at 650 pieces. I mean 650 kwacha for 10 pieces. Likewise, even these plain t-shirts, which are also going at 70 kwacha each and 650 for 10 pieces. These very good quality. You can print whatever you want there. And so we are located, like I said earlier, we are located in Lusaka at Downtown Mall, behind Choppies. You can reach us on 0573-567-554, also on 0971-958519, also on 0976-682540. We deliver countrywide using Platinum Courier Services, and also within Lusaka, we use Yango delivery. We use Yango bikes for delivery.
Hi, this is Memory Edge Chanda, and you are watching Light Television Zambia on Top Star, Channel 121.
Good morning and welcome back to the Light TV Breakfast Show. We hope you're having a blast so far. We hope you're taking a keen interest in the topic we have today, workplace ethics and integrity. Indeed, what a wonderful topic. Indeed, the heartbreaking truth, the hard truth about integrity and ethics, where we have to ask ourselves, are we people of integrity? Do we practice good work ethics at our workplace, even in the Zambian workspace? Are we people of integrity? Are we people who are diligent, who work hard, not people who cut corners and want to always go with the easy way, take the easy way out, go with the flow and get the admiration and praise of other people instead of doing the right thing? So we've been having some thought-provoking questions even on the topic of ethics and integrity. This is something we need to think about in our Zambian society. It's something we need to think about so that we can get better as a Zambian society and so that we can learn to do the right thing all the time. Now, at this point in time, we have a reflection. We are reflecting on World Press Freedom Day, which occurred yesterday. Indeed, it was a wonderful day. Indeed, it's wonderful that government is on board with this, on board with World Press Freedom and on board with the freedom of media, even in the nation of Zambia. So this week, the world is reflecting on a major global gathering, a two-day conference marking World Press Freedom Day, themed Shaping a Future at Peace, Promoting Press Freedom for Human Rights, Development and Security. This powerful theme is a reminder of the vital role the media plays in shaping our world, not just by informing the public, but by defending the truth, promoting accountability, and contributing to peace, development, and human rights. Today, we take a closer look at what this means for us as a country and how Zambia is engaging in this global conversation. And indeed, we really need to look at both ends, like even as we reflect, what does this day really mean? Is it just a decoration? Is it a day? Oh, it's on the calendar where we just forget about it and just go on with our business. What does this day mean both globally and right here at home, even in the Zambian context? You know, it's definitely a timely conversation, even for us as a nation, because yesterday wasn't just a celebration. It was actually, I beg your pardon, it was actually a reminder of the responsibility and challenges that come with being in the media space. And of course, a lot of issues were brought out even during the meeting. And when we talk about press freedom, what stood out for you, dear viewer, even in yesterday's conversation, in the conversations that we had, if you watched the press conference at Mulungushi, what really stood out for you? What was really important about concerning yesterday's discussions? What did you take out from there? And what stood out for you? What stood out concerning World Press Freedom Day? And another thing I believe that stood out is that it's not just about the media speaking, like from a personal point of view. It's not just about the media speaking. It's about people having access to the truth. That's cardinal. People having access to the truth. And without that freedom, society operates in the dark, which is not right. As mentioned time and time, we are a democratic nation. As a nation back in 1991, we decided to adopt democracy as our form of governance, where we know what's happening in our beloved nation, where we know what's going on, what our government is doing, and where we are not kept in the dark, where we know how we can act or react to certain situations. So it's about the truth. The truth is very important. We are not just disseminating information, just giving out information, but also giving out the truth and speaking the truth. And we also need to think about ourselves as ordinary citizens, and if we are really paying attention or not, and if we are also doing the right thing as Zambian citizens or not, because generally, definitely, it affects all of us. Media freedom affects all of us in one way or another, and it affects the way we make decisions. The news we consume shapes our opinions, decisions, and even our future. If the media is not free or responsible, then the information people rely on becomes questionable. So, indeed, truth is very important. Accurate reporting is very important for the media. It is important and vital. It's not just being sensational. It's not just breaking out the latest story, but people are consuming that information. That's one thing to bear in mind. People are consuming the information that's been brought out up there, and if people consume false information, that's really damaging to society. That's why there should be scrutiny. Even among media houses, there should be scrutiny, so that even as stories are being brought out there, even as we are bringing out stories, we are making sure that they are accurate, because the truth is vital. We don't want false stories which just damage people's reputations or damage organizations' reputations and end up causing long-term damage even to society as a whole. Now, globally, conversations led by organizations like UNESCO really highlighted issues like information and journalist safety. So information must be dealt with, and it must be taken into account and taken very seriously. And of course, journalist safety. We don't need a situation where journalists are being harassed, where they're being attacked, even when they're disseminating information which is true for the public to consume, so that the public can make better and informed decisions. Speaking of unity and development, Zambia reaffirmed its commitment to press freedom during a courtesy call involving Minister of Information and Media Cornelius Mutwa and UNESCO Assistant Director General Maria Gabriel. And indeed, we need to continue learning. We need to continue thinking of what was discussed yesterday during the World Press Freedom Day. And one key takeaway was government reaffirming its commitment to strengthening media freedom and expanding democratic space. And that was significant, very significant, because when leadership openly commits to media freedom, it sets the tone for transparency and accountability. It also builds confidence among journalists and the public, and it's very encouraging that indeed the head of state, the entire government, is coming on board to say media freedom is very important. It is vital. It sets the tone for transparency. It also holds government accountable. It holds our leaders accountable. The leaders whom we elected, the leaders whom we put in power. Media freedom holds them accountable. That's why media freedom must not be abused. There must be respect. There must be guidelines. There must be ethics in media, even with regards to reporting. Now, it's really wonderful, it's really good that the minister also described press freedom as a cornerstone for national unity, peace, and development. Indeed, right and responsible media reporting can enhance peace and development. Like, for instance, a media house will cover a story maybe on bad roads in a particular community, and then government comes in and rebuilds that infrastructure, even puts up better infrastructure, maybe putting up a police post, putting up a hospital, putting up clinics, and then the community does better. Why? Because journalists reported that there was an issue in that particular community, an issue which needed to be looked into, and then government comes on board, and even public and private partnerships come on board and help develop that community. That's why the minister rightly said it's a cornerstone for national unity, peace, and development, and indeed that is vital. So a free and vibrant media allows citizens to participate in governance. It ensures that different voices are heard, and it strengthens democracy, and it makes democracy even more exciting to say, I'm an ordinary citizen, but I'm participating in the democratic process. I'm casting my vote because I want to see this leader. I want to see this leader do a good job, and I can still hold this leader accountable, even with my voice, even as my voice is disseminated, through the media. At least my rights are respected and my voice is heard. Another issue which was raised is the changing media landscape, especially with digital platforms. There is now a need to distinguish professional journalism from unverified content, and that's cardinal. Unverified content brings a lot of sensationalism and can bring a lot of damage, because you can go on YouTube, maybe post a video, and you never even verified your source, and you just went ahead with a story, and it damages the reputation of an institution or a particular individual because it was unverified. Digital platforms are vital, but then they need to verify their information as well. So the digital platform, as good as it is, but it also comes with its own set of challenges. You see, these days anyone can publish information, but not everyone follows journalistic standards. That's why training and professionalism are more important than ever. And that's why we need to look into verifying YouTubers. Is what they're saying true? Have they really verified their source, or are they going out there and just spreading misinformation for likes so that they can gain more views? All this needs to be looked into, and all this needs to be discussed. And that's where collaboration comes in. Collaboration even between YouTubers or digital platforms. Collaboration comes in, and indeed there were calls for stronger partnerships with UNESCO in training journalists. That's why people need to seek training. People need to know what they're doing even before they go ahead and publish a particular story. People need to seek counsel. People need to be trained on how to do it the right way, so that the damage that is done is minimized, so that damage isn't done to people unnecessarily. And that's why capacity building is key. When journalists are well trained, they uphold ethics, verify facts, and maintain credibility in the industry. And we have information and truth, not just information actually, but we also have truth being disseminated. We have truth which is being told, and people are able to act on that truth and make well-informed decisions. Zambia was also commended for successfully hosting the global conference and promoting dialogue on press freedom. And indeed, that's a big milestone. It shows that Zambia is positioning itself as a key player in promoting media freedom and international standards. And that was really encouraging to see Zambia also there championing the cause for media freedom, championing it well, and of course, not forgetting doing it responsibly. On the global side, UNESCO emphasized the importance of cooperation in addressing emerging media challenges. And of course, the challenge of misinformation and digital disruption. And these are not limited to just one country. These are not just limited to Zambia, but this is happening everywhere. Even in the United States itself, of course, there's a lot of information, digital disruption from time to time. And of course, these require global solutions and shared experiences. And when we look at today's media landscape, as we've been saying, it's now been digitized, it's now going digital, and there are a lot of online platforms. So when we look at the media landscape, we have artificial intelligence and instant news, and these are some of the biggest challenges. And one of these challenges, definitely, like you've guessed it, it's misinformation spreading faster than facts. And of course, like instant coffee, you just do things instantly because you want the best story. Now anyone can publish anything now, and so credibility becomes a major issue. Also, journalists face pressure from online attacks to limited protection, so we need to be really careful. And we can even bring it home to Zambia, where we can describe the state and media freedom here in Zambia. And we at least are making some progress. Of course, a lot needs to be done. But as a nation, we are making progress. And of course, platforms are there. But there's still a need for stronger systems that protect journalists and that help promote responsible journalism and ensure the independence. So growth is there, but more needs to be done in terms of maturity in the media and, of course, in our workspace. We take a break and join us on the other side as the Light TV Breakfast Show.
Autobest Engineering is a fully registered company that has services such as towing service, we have a saloon, we repair cars, we have a car wash,
Barber shop is a top notch,
and many more.
Autobest Engineering is the company which you can rely on. We touch any car. We are just at the corner of Pemba Road and Mosotunya Road. You know what? We deliver the best. Yes, we are growing very fast. It's a top notch company ever in Zambia. When you come, wherever you are, whether you are in America, you come to visit Zambia, please just go to Google Map, type Autobest Engineering Group. It will take you where we are. Autobest is a one-stop shop.
Come to Autobest Engineering where the best is done. If you want to know where we're located along Mosotunya Road, just right at the corner of Pemba Road, Chilende South. If you want to contact us, you can call us on 0977 18 12 73.
Autobest Engineering, doing what we know best.
Others were working, they had good jobs, but they lost it along the way. So they need your support, they need your help. Feel free to visit our center so that we advise on how we can come together and help these individuals.
Christ Life is more than a school. It's a nurturing community. Our qualified teachers use innovative methods that keep the minds and hearts of our students engaged. Our cafeteria isn't just a place to eat. It's a hub of nourishment and community. Our sports activities are always filled with fun and creativity that promote teamwork and confidence in every child. With access to the latest educational software, learners are prepared for the digital age with confidence and creativity, empowering students with skills in and out of the classroom. Swimming is a life skill that is cardinal for survival. Our ballet programs teaches more than just dance. It installs grace, discipline, and expression. The heart of knowledge builds in our school library with a wide collection of fiction, non-fiction, reference material, and digital resources. Our school offers exciting and safe playground facilities for both ECE and primary students. Safety is our top priority, and our drivers are carefully selected for their professionalism and commitment to the well-being of our students. At Christ Life School, we believe education is not just about passing exams. It's about preparation. So, if you are looking for a school that feels like home, where your child will be known, loved, and challenged to reach their highest potential, then Christ Life School is the place. Are you a small business and want to grow? On Light TV, you too can sell. Make big earnings. Tap into the market. It's on fire, rolling, and tasty. Irenda, Irepia. Call our marketing team and be a part of this exciting offer. Revamp your business, re-strategize, and let our creative team take your business to the next level. Call the numbers on the screen now and take your business to another level. Irenda, Irepia. Exclusive to Light TV. Your latest news.
The report was made by Mr. Abu Gujar, a 37-year-old Indian national residing in Olympia.
Top happening stories.
SDG number 6.
Badge is still mourning the death of the 60th Republican president.
Business news.
From here, there's going to be a great multiplier effect.
On the sport crossovers of awaiting that the body would come back.
Kaji Mwambelako! And a very good race, and we as a
touch with our news team on the numbers on your screen. Yes, Kodi Mwambelako. We are in your face. We are closer to you. Light TV is a footway away from you. Kodi Mwambelako. We are closer to you. Light TV is a footway away from you. Kodi Mwambelako. Zambia's trusted TV broadcaster.
Welcome back to the Light TV Breakfast Show. Indeed, it is a beautiful Tuesday morning. This morning, we turn our focus to innovation, technology, and the future of our young people. Recent reports indicate that over 2,000 learners across Zambia are already benefiting from digital skills and innovation programs under the Zambia National STEM Foundation. At the same time, efforts are underway to complete a state-of-the-art STEM innovation hub right here in Lusaka, an initiative set to reshape how young people learn, create, and innovate. But beyond the numbers, there's a deeper story, one of inclusion, opportunity, and preparing Zambia for a rapidly evolving digital world. To help us unpack this, we are joined in the studio by a distinguished guest from the STEM Foundation, Mr. Michelo Monga. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Indeed. And what you're doing across the country, just help us unpack it and help us understand in a nutshell, like what over 2,000 learners are doing and what they'll benefit from.
Let me start by expressing my sincere gratitude for hosting me on your show. And also let me start by saying good morning to our dear viewers out there. My name is Michelo Monga, Executive Director for Zambia National STEM Foundation. So the foundation was established in August 2018, and we stand on 3 pillars, which is advocacy, support, and promotion of STEM education. So since inception, we have implemented quite a number of initiatives, and these initiatives range from young learners as young as 10 years old, and they go all the way to industry leaders. I'll speak more into the initiative as the program goes, but yes, I think in brief, that's who we are as a foundation.
Okay, wonderful. Then a follow-up question on the 2,000 learners who are already benefiting from the programs. So could you tell us the impact of this, especially starting with the 2,000 learners benefiting from the program? What is the impact of this entire program?
Okay, so annually, we impact around 2,000 learners. So this is through our various initiatives, which range from holiday boot camps, for instance, provincial boot camps, such as the Northwestern Provincial Boot Camp that we had, under support from UNESCO, another boot camp in Southern Province under support from UNDP, another holiday boot camp that we had under support from FNB. So it's through these various initiatives that these learners are impacted. But we also have online programs that impact learners. For instance, currently we are running an online MTN Skills Academy program where learners access various trainings for free. And these are certified trainings, ranging from your robotics, your artificial intelligence, mention it. So through such platforms that we create as a foundation, we are able to impact various learners. But then we also have initiatives like our school visit initiative, falling under STEM awareness. So every Friday, my team and I visit different schools. We pick a school and we visit them, where we conduct STEM awareness and formulate a STEM club for continuity. So it's through those clubs that we are able to kind of support them. Recent schools that I can cite Rufunsa Girls, where we formed a club and donated equipment to the electrical equipment for them to be able to practice robotics and all these things. There are schools such as Don Bosco in Luwingu district, where we have donated an entire computer lab, which we are yet to actually auction. So again, with that facility, learners are already being impacted, because there's a lot of coding lessons going on, there's robotics. So if you've noted, I've mentioned different geographical locations, telling you that the foundation is just not centered in Lusaka. In the recent years, I would say 5 years or so, we've seen an increase in the number of organizations that are promoting STEM education, which is a very good thing. Though my concern is that most of these organizations are centered within Lusaka, We have a few out there that we cannot, but then most are just within Lusaka. So as a foundation, we try by all means to implement projects in the rural areas. Hence, we've had boot camps in Northwestern Province. We've had boot camps in Southern Province. We are planning to have a boot camp in Wapula Province. You may wonder how we pick these locations as well. So Northwestern Province, for instance, there's a lot of cultural issues there. You know, the girl child, for instance, is usually married out, early stages, you know, boys dropping out of school because of these cultural traditions that are followed and all these things. So we felt there was need. But now again, if you look at statistics right now, according to ZICTA, Wapula Province, I think, has the lowest ICT usage, meaning there's a lot of illiteracy there in terms of ICT. So we felt there's need to have a boot camp there. So that's how we kind of pick these locations as well. Yes, so I hope that answers the question.
Wonderful, wonderful. So STEM and the future. For viewers at home, why is STEM so critical for Zambia's development?
You see, to start, we are literally playing catch-up. You know, if we are to use countries like Rwanda, Kenya, South Africa as our case study, you can see for yourself that there's a lot those guys are doing. You know, Rwanda, for instance, not long ago they had a genocide. What were we doing? But now they've recovered from that, and they are literally, if you look at their tech industry, there's a lot they are doing. We are actually kind of learning from them now. So we need to embrace STEM, whether we like it or not. To start with, every STEM-propelled economy thrives. Right now, we experience various challenges as a country. And it's a good thing we are actually now seeing a lot of youths coming up with solutions to these challenges. You know, we are seeing a lot of apps coming up. You know, we are seeing a lot of initiatives, be it in the agri-space, you know. So all that is as a result of STEM, and we need a lot of that, you know, if we are to develop as a nation. You see, we cannot continue importing solutions. We need to start cultivating our own solutions that are going to address challenges that we face, because only ourselves understand our challenges, you know. So if we are as well going to compete on the global stage, we need to be able to embrace STEM education, you know. And it's one of the reasons why the foundation actually went further to approach the Ministry of Education, pursuing an MOU, which I'm happy that now it has been approved by the Attorney General. Because as much as we introduced STEM education, were our teachers ready for it? Do we have qualified STEM teachers in Zambia? I'm not going to answer that. I'll leave it to you. But yes, that's another gap. Because when you talk about artificial intelligence, when you talk about robotics, these are emerging technologies, you know, which were not there when most of our teachers. So I feel we need to also kind of come up with a very critical and strong capacity building initiative for our teachers, which I'm happy to say the foundation has already, we've piloted it, we've seen the gaps, and now the MOU has been approved. So very soon you're going to start seeing a lot of interventions as well, targeting our educators so that we can equip them with necessary skills and tools to be able to deliver STEM education in a classroom, even in the absence of the tools that may be required. We need to be able to apply critical thinking and come up with teaching aids using, you know, resources that are just within us or within our reach. Because some of this equipment can actually be quite expensive if you are to offload it in all the schools, you know. We are talking about each and every school being equipped with a computer lab, a maker space, internet, you know, like, so it's not going to be that easy. We do understand. Hence, we are saying we need to be able to work with what we have.
Okay, wonderful. So with the rise of artificial intelligence, you've already alluded to it. With the rise of artificial intelligence and digital transformation, how are young people in Zambia being prepared for the future?
I like the way the young people are actually responding to these emerging technologies. To an extent, we are literally also kind of learning from them. We to literally just support them, create platforms that is going to enhance their interests, their skills. You know, that's like, again, as a foundation, our focus ranges from as young as 10-year-olds. As long as we feel we can sit down with this young learner and be able to tinker, and they tinker back, and, you know, we kind of align, then we are good to go. Because we need to spark the interest at a young age. And once that is done, they'll grow with it. They will not part away from it. Especially our girls. If we look at our stats, you know, they keep changing. We did a brief research. At grade 12, for instance, grade 12 level, you saw, was it last year, where we had a lot of girls passing with, you know, surpassing the boys.
Yes.
But when you further go into uni, you find that just at the entry point, the numbers start dwindling down. Okay, so what happens between that gap year? So as a foundation, again, we've got an out-of-school program where we want to keep learners busy immediately after their exams, because a lot happens. The girls, they start falling pregnant and all these things. The boys, they start becoming junkies because of that gap year. So again, when you come to uni itself, entry level, for the girls, the numbers start going down. But then you still find that they are looking good. But at the exit point as well, you find that the number again further go down. So even during their stay in uni, we have a lot that drop out. What do you understand? Because on the completion end, the numbers go down. You find that the boys are actually on the higher side. And yet people don't understand these stats. So they see you as if you're focusing on the girl more. But then, truth of the matter is that what we are feeding into the industry, the girl child is on the lower side.
Okay. Okay, wonderful. Really interesting. Yeah, exactly. Very interesting, because of course there's a lot of push for women empowerment, girl child education, but like you've mentioned, sometimes we start very well, but we miss along the way.
Especially for the girl child.
Yes.
Along the way, the numbers start going down. You know? Yes. With the boys, they kind of maintain actually. You may get a small entry percentage, but you find that it's maintained all the way. With the girls, you find that entry, it's quite high, but it will start reducing as they go. Graduation point, you find that there's more boys graduating than less girls.
Yes.
And you ask yourself, what happened along the way?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes. So your innovation hub is 60% complete.
Yes.
What can we as Zambians expect from a fully complete hub?
To start with, you should expect these numbers being doubled, because annually right now we are saying we cover around about 2,000 learners through our various initiatives and platforms. Once the hub is fully functional, those numbers are going to double definitely. Then also, you see, as a foundation, we don't just, we are not just interested in working prototypes, you know, or startups that are functional. We are interested in people that have ideas, young learners that are just willing to learn, you know. So expect a lot of experiments, a lot of prototyping, as well, because we are trying to create that space and make a space where learners can freely express themselves in terms of innovation, express themselves in terms of critical thinking, you know. So it will be a bit of that. We'll have a lot of incubation programs targeting young startups, SMEs, you know. There's going to be quite a number of initiatives happening there. You know, we are setting up a radio station, for instance, at the hub. Our science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics radio. So STEAM radio is going to focus on educational programs. Again, we want to double the numbers. We want that that student in Zambezi district to be able to understand what opportunities are offered under National Science and Technology Council, what opportunities are offered under the ZICTA Innovation Challenge, because some of these things are just centered within Lusaka. So we want even the learners in the outskirts to be able to, follow what's happening. So we feel that radio station will be one of the platforms that will help us drive the agenda. Strictly a science radio, which I feel we should have had in this country a long time ago. Why do I say so? I'm here, this is a Christian station, am I not right?
You're right.
We have a political platform somewhere where they just talk about politics. We have stations where they just talk about common stuff, entertainment, and all these things. But we don't have a science radio. But for us to even sit and have this conversation, we needed a lot of gadgets, technology, which speaks into STEM.
Exactly.
So we feel there's need for a science radio to be able to have these conversations on a national platform. So yes, I hope that answers the question.
Yes, it does.
So development, it starts with providing solutions and reducing on importing solutions. Innovation, it starts with us adding value to even the already existing products that we have. So I think those are some of the things that the hub is going to enhance, even in terms of conversations. Like I said, we want to create a platform where our young innovators can actually come up with products that will be able to compete on a global scale. So yes, the hub, to start with, it will be the first of its kind in Zambia, built from scratch, specifically for that purpose. So yeah, we expect it to be a game changer. Yes. So expect a lot of innovations coming from there, a lot of solutions as well, responding to our various challenges. Could be in the agri-space, it could be climate-related issues. We expect to at least provide some meaningful solutions to the government as well. I'll be quick to mention that the president recently donated 200,000 kwacha towards this project. So already that, for us, it tells us that we kind of need to up our game and ensure that everything is in place, because obviously he will not just donate and, it's an indicator that he's equally interested in what's happening. So we are very much ready to respond to the call, and yeah, we hope to do our very best. We hope this hub to be open before the end of this year, because we are eager to start providing solutions.
Okay. Amazing, wonderful, wonderful. Now there are concerns about rural communities being left out, and of course that's a valid concern. So what steps are you going to take in place? I think you've also alluded to the fact that you're also moving into rural areas, but what measures or steps are you taking to ensure that you're also reaching the rural population?
So to start with, this construction of the hub in Lusaka is a start. We hope, or rather the long-term vision is to have a similar hub in each province, even if it means leveraging on existing infrastructure, but then we are moving strategically. Obviously, we didn't want to start having these conversations before. So this is more like a reference point going forward. Otherwise, what we need in this country is a hub or a center of excellence in each province to start with, where we can coordinate all these activities from. So that way we'll not be leaving anyone behind, And aside from that, we need to kind of find ways of how we can increase initiatives that are implemented in rural areas. The foundation has actually been doing that for quite some time now. And under our partnership with UNDP, for instance, we saw establishment of innovation hubs in Iteshteji, in Chongwe, in Samba district, rural setups, all that is in the quest to try and take these technologies to rural areas as well, So yes, there's work being done, but I feel there's room to do more, and that's where everyone actually now comes into play, the private sector, the corporate world, the banking sector, because when you look at them critically, you find that all these various sectors are huge beneficiaries of STEM. It could be human resource, it could be solutions. So that's how I think we need everyone to be a part of these conversations. And that way, we'll move faster and further.
Okay, wonderful. And then in terms of girl-child empowerment, there's a strong push from STEM Zambia to involve girls in this wonderful venture. But then, what are you doing about them not just merely participating or just adding to the numbers, but actually getting them to innovate and to lead?
So STEM is very hands-on, and that's how come we are so eager to get our project done. We've had young girls that we have taken under our wing, girls that had no idea about all these robotics issues and coding and all these things, but then they went on to compete on global platforms. We have girls like Rebecca, Safi and the group, girls we mentored from scratch. They won almost all competitions locally. Traveled to Ghana, won those competitions. So we are not just talking the talk, but literally walking as well. And we have lots of reference points in terms of what we can do and what has been done. But now the question is, how do we expand on this? How do we take this to all the provinces? Because there's a lot of smart girls out there, but they just don't get these opportunities, Girls like Frida Mwenge, for instance, she's been in the media of late. She's developed a mental health app. Frida is someone that we have been mentoring for quite some time. She comes from Chiengi, and if you listen to her story, you'll be surprised. But then the question is, how many Fridas do we have out there, and how do we fish them out? Because not all of them will have the privilege of coming all the way to Lusaka and get exposed to these opportunities. Most of the Fridas will end up dropping out, early pregnancies, all those things. But if we can have innovation hubs in each province, God forbid, each district, that would be a different story altogether, game changer, Also within our schools, if we can start implementing maker spaces, where learners just walk in and experiment. I've seen this at Kanisha Secondary School, I've seen this at Chwala High School, Chwala STEM School. It really works on the learners' innovativeness. It brings out their critical thinking, So those are some of the initiatives that I think are supposed to be implemented in our schools. And if you look at the makerspace type of arrangement, it's mostly because you use equipment that you already have. The one I found at Kenisha's school in Southern Province, they literally use e-waste, and they recycle it. They are making wall clocks and stuff like that from those recycled waste.
Amazing.
So those are some of the initiatives that we need in the school. Chwala High School is equally doing the same thing. The makerspace is full of e-waste, and the learners are recycling it, coming up with projects and all those things. So if we can have such initiatives in all schools, I think it will help us. And it brings us to us using resources around us, being creative enough to be able to identify what we can work with in the absence of the actual STEM tools.
Okay, all right, wonderful. And I would like to ask about girls. Why is it so important? I know it sounds like a monotonous question, but why is it important to have girls be in these programs, like for them to lead and innovate? Why is it vital that they are in these programs?
Aside from the stats that we have and female folks being left out in decision-making positions where the STEM sector is concerned and all these things, I think we can also agree that women just come with a certain skill that they just have, a gift from God. They are natures, they build. Hence people say when you educate a girl child, you educate an entire village. You know, I don't know what they say about us, but there's that about women, you know.
Yes, there's that about them.
So we feel we need to bring them in these conversations because women are actually more like perfectionists, you know.
Definitely.
And they have that nurturing, natural thing in them, you know, bringing everyone together and all those things. But aside, it's also about striking a balance, you know, because we have a lot of gender imbalance, a lot of stereotyping, you know, girls being made to believe that is not their space, they belong in the kitchen and all those things. But the world is changing, you know, and these dynamics are also changing. So we are trying to, I think, just also create an equal situation where everyone can freely express themselves without being made to believe, you know, it's not for them. It's a man's field, you know. Yeah. So I think that's where the biasness comes in, you know. If you look deep into this, you find that issues of gender-based violence, for instance, they stream from such issues where the man is the provider, you know, and the woman is meant to ask all the time, you know. And out of that, the man tends to have an upper arm, and from that, abuse comes in, you know. But then if the woman is empowered to be an equal provider in the household, we shall reduce these gender-based issues in terms of violence, you know. So that as well is another angle why we are trying to kind of bring the girl child to the conversation. In the rural setup right now, if there's a boy and a girl and they have to send one to school, who do you think they'll send?
Most likely a boy.
And the girl will be taught to go fetch firewood.
Yes.
But why is that? And how do we change that narrative?
Cultural issues again.
Yes. So it's quite deep, and it requires everyone's consented efforts. Yes.
Indeed.
Yeah. Otherwise, I think that's why the foundation has that biasness. You know, also not leaving the boy child behind, because again, you don't want to create a situation where you have an empowered woman in the house and a man who does not know how to handle that empowered woman. So the boy also has to be prepared and made to understand that this is an equal partner and not someone that you look down upon. So hopefully we do achieve that one day.
Yeah, hopefully, definitely we do need to achieve that. Yes. And then still on girls, like what are the targeted programs for girls in ICT? What specific targeted programs are there?
So for instance, we have girl child initiative, such as our we have our and Girls in STEM and AI conference. We'll be hosting our 4th annual conference this year, actually. So that conference is specifically for girls and women, you know, though it's open to the male folks. We celebrate, you know, we inspire, and we motivate through that platform. We have a Girls in ICT and GBV Summit, which focuses on girls alone, you know. So yeah, aside from that, on all our other initiatives, we always have a higher number of girls. You know, if, for instance, I'll give you an example of, take for instance, we'll have 40% girls, 60% girls and 40% boys on our mixed initiatives. just to try and have more participation of the girl child. Yeah.
Wonderful. So how can parents, schools, and just society in general, how can they be brought on board concerning ICT and female empowerment of the girl child?
So we are first of all open. We have an open door policy, be it at learner level or parent, school, institution. So what do I mean? If you are a school and you'd like us to visit you and come up with deliberate initiatives, we are open to that. If you are an institution and you'd like to partner with that, we are open to that. If you are a parent and you feel you want your child to enroll, we are open to that. Once the hub is open, like when we had our hub where we were renting, we have initiatives that run continuously. Some are paid for, some are free, So you just enroll and you reach out. How do you follow what's happening? We have a very active website, www.stemzambia.org. You can follow that. We are very active on Facebook. We are very active on LinkedIn as well, and all these other social media platforms. So you can always follow our works from there. We have a membership base as well. If you go to our website, there's a button where you click to become a member. There's a document you fill in with your details, whether you are a learner, you are a parent, you are a student, you are a professional, you are an organization. We have various membership categories. So you can join, follow our channels, our WhatsApp groups, and just be a part of the action.
Okay, wonderful. What message do you have for girls who are eager to join ICT?
It's a very exciting space. And there's very few competition because already you are few there.
Exactly.
So the few that try to get in will come with both arms, because like I said, there's less traffic. So I would encourage the girls to aspire for that. There's lots of opportunities, scholarship opportunities, and all these things because everyone is trying to get you guys in there. So yes, just aspire to get into STEM.
Wonderful. So we've seen government coming on board and even other partnerships. So what would you say would be their impact even as they come on board and help? And do we need even more concerted efforts and more collaborations, like perhaps from the wider community?
Oh yes, definitely. This is a very huge conversation because if I'm to tell you right now, we are literally just scratching on the surface, Even as a foundation, we've been in existence since 2018, but we've only been to about 5-6 provinces. So yes, we need more collaborations. We need more stakeholders to come on board. Even the corporates, as you sit in your boardrooms to plan your CSR projects for the years, I think you need to have a bias towards this conversation because it's at a very critical stage, irregardless of what space, whether it's in the water and sanitation space, climate, whichever space, it's all bordered on STEM, So I think we need everyone's effort. But as we do that, and as we mitigate our ongoing challenges, we also need to look into solutions of the future. And that's where the young learners come in, We need to create a critical mass. We need STEM cadres as opposed to political cadres.
Exactly. Yes.
So I think that's where we are as a country.
Okay, all right. So how can individuals and organizations support this work, especially in the completion of the hub?
So it's as God leads, to start with.
As the Spirit leads.
As the Spirit leads. We need, of course, we do need a lot of help. Yes, we are at 60% completion in terms of the infrastructure. We have a building, double-story building that's already standing, requires to be dressed. But then aside from that, obviously, there's functionality of the hub. You know, I'm happy to announce that Huawei has come on board. They've donated equipment that we will need, which we haven't even come up with a list to submit to them. But from the fundraiser we had, I think Huawei announced the donation of the equipment. Yes, I think we do need a lot of support. If you're a STEM professional, we need mentors, you know, for our various initiatives. You know, just you being able to also donate your time is something. We have a lot of students out there that need guidance, you know, even just career guidance. We do experience a lot of that. So yes, we do need a lot of mentors to come on board. You could be a business house. We need you to come on board and mentor an SME, you know, a startup out there on how they can navigate their way to the top. So it's a concerted effort at the end of the day, but it starts with one availing themselves in their time.
Okay, wonderful. So how can young people come on board, especially those watching right now? How can they get involved? Young people, youth organizations, how can they get involved in this?
Feel free to reach out to us, come through. You can send us an email at info@stemzambia.org. You can send us a WhatsApp message. The numbers are actually there on our website. If you go to Facebook, look for Zambia National STEM Foundation. Again, you can reach to us through that platform. With us, no idea is crazy. We could be looking for that crazy idea that you have. So feel free to look out to us. If you want the foundation to visit your school, again, we do that. I know schools are opening next week. We'll give you 2 weeks to settle down. The other week, we start visiting you. So this is the best time to actually reach out and start those conversations.
Okay. Yes. So are there any initiatives or challenges they can participate in?
We've got a robotics challenge coming up very soon, which we also host annually. We are hoping to have this outside Lusaka in a different province. Very soon you'll see it on the media. We have the 4th annual Women in STEM and AI conference coming up as well. That one is specifically for the female folks. And once the hub is open, I think we'll go back to our usual selves of, you know, various activities, weekend coding and all these things. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Monga. It has been really wonderful to have you on this show, and also just highlighting the impact. That STEM is having, and how definitely we need to embrace artificial intelligence. We can use it actually for our good, and we are glad concerning the great work that you are doing as an institution. Thank you very much for being part of the Light TV Breakfast Show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. And I think, like I said, conversation requires everyone's concerted effort. And the media actually is on top of that list. So the fact that you guys reached out, invited us to have this conversation, we are very grateful. And we hope you can invite us again. And we'll definitely invite you for the launch of the hub, so that we can continue having such conversations.
Exactly. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Well, you've heard it, dear viewer. Indeed, you know where to reach Mr. Monga. Indeed, STEM is doing a fantastic job. So we'll see you on the other side, even as we take a short break as we conclude the breakfast show.
Thank you so much for tuning in. You're watching Teen Diaries.
Yeah, today let's get loud about something.
about bullying. We deal with this on social media, in schools, and in our workplaces.
Take me deeper than my feet could ever.
Could you share your story in exams where you will find yourself being bullied?
I was able to respond. I mean, you don't have to agree. Someone talks to you like, hey, you're too skinny, you're too fat. You don't need to agree with that situation.
So did you ever reach out to any of the supervisors in school, your principal? Did you ever reach out to anyone?
After like 1.5 years of doing that, my friend was like, this is too much, just stand your ground, tell them off.
Like, don't always listen to what people say, because some people are just always so negative. Like, look at yourself, you're beautiful in the mirror. And I always used to go to my mirror and tell myself, no, I'm beautiful.
Indeed, what an exciting show we've had here on the Light TV Breakfast Show. We hope you've been informed, we hope you've been inspired, and we hope you've learned one or two things, especially about the workplace and integrity, and even from the wonderful interview we had about STEM and innovation, artificial intelligence, and among other things, girl-child empowerment, of course, empowering boys as well. But it has been indeed a blast. Indeed, workplace integrity is vital even for our Zambian society. We just hope, dear viewer, that you have learned a lot about the workplace and about integrity, how we need to be people of integrity. We need to be people of ethics, people of integrity, even when no one is watching us. You have been with your host, George Sompola, and indeed, have a blast, have a